All right, class, mic's on. We're about to flip the script. This is the Takeover Class of Culture, a student-led podcast where curiosity sets the table and culture is always on the menu. Here, young voices flip the script on who leads the learning, and in our classroom, we explore culture, identity, and the heart of it all. What does community mean to you? From shared meals to shared struggles, nothing's off the table. Pull up a chair. This is where learning gets real.
I'd say my grandfather mentored me quite a lot. He died when I was really young, but he was very important to my growth as a person. Be gentle. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with your friends. Gentleness is something that we're conditioned against, but it's quite radical and quite powerful to embrace it as a man.
This is The Takeover. Today we're exploring the power of young people in community, how we show up, how we take responsibility of our relationships, and how we live the motto, truth and honour.
For me, there's nothing like the barbershop. There's no male space that is, a healthy third space for men and boys and, masculine people to come together and just chill and be tended to, I'll be straight up. How many places that we go as men, is it okay and comfortable for a man to be touching you like Luke is touching my head right now? He's really tending to me. He's really caring for me. He's doing something that really, there's not any other thing that I really do for myself, to care for myself like this. That's why I come to the barbershop all the time, because it makes me feel like I belong here with the boys.
It's like you're a part of a family.
100%. This is my community.
He's like Luke, your dad or something.
He's not my... Lucas.
I could be your brother.
He's my brother. He's the same age as me. A little bit of a spanner in the works. I want you guys to now ask Nick some questions, because Nick actually started here as an apprentice. He grew up in the local area. Yeah. He went to school in the local area. He couldn't sit still in a classroom, so Bruce gave him a job here, and he is absolutely flourishing, obviously. Nick, would you say you're a community man?
At least in this community, definitely.
I
try to be at least.
I would say you're a community man, Nick.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. I guess in terms of community meaning something to me, it's about people. A community is nothing without the people inside the community.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
And having a sense of community is, like you said before, having a sense of family.
Yeah.
A place that you can go and feel accepted and feel like you have a place to belong in. And that's how I feel community means to me.
How does it feel for you when you find out where you truly belong?
It feels amazing. It's something that you don't know you don't have it until you find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, got it.
Before I found this community at the barbershop at 18 Bones, there was a few places that I would try to go to find that sense of community, but when I found it here, I never wanted to go anywhere else. I wanted to stay here with my friends and the family that I built here, because like you said before, they make you feel like you belong somewhere. And that's the feeling you're trying to get when you want a community, right?
Yeah.
At least in my opinion.
Yeah.
What makes you a really good barber is you're very in touch with the emotional needs of your clients. You're always checking in on me and chatting to me with how I'm feeling, and if there's something going on in my life, me and Luke talk about our problems. Not about my problems I would talk to my therapist, not that deep, but I'll talk to Luke about if I've had a bad day, or Luke, would you say, I don't know, I feel like barbers are kind of a support person as well. You know what I mean?
Yes, I'll say, we're pretty close to that.
Yeah, because lots of barbers are like that. They think of they check in on you, they give you advice. Their advice might be bad, but Luke has pretty good advice. Why do you feel that emotional check-in, that relational component, is that natural to you?
It's natural to me because I built up this relationship with my client, and I want to make sure they're okay. Maybe I can give them advice or some sort of like, just because like I see him every week.
Yeah.
You know, he's almost pretty much like a colleague, a friend, like already. So we kind of like, hey bro, like how's this? And I remember that incident, but like, hey man, like you went to this with your family, how did that go? You know what I mean? It's just another way of catching up. I was like, you know, sometimes he would tell me like, oh yeah, I saw this barbershop and kind of like had the best kind of interior. And then, you know, I'm like, oh, maybe that's a really good idea design for if you ever decide to open one up.
Right.
So they would just tell me. So that's another way of me learning as well. The beauty thing about my clippers right now is not so overwhelmingly loud to most people, right? Because sometimes we have people that comes in a chair that has sensory issues, and that's why I got this clipper to reduce that, you know, that loudness, because we're so close, so personal to the ears, and they hate that. That's too loud. So so when something's really loud to you, it's kind of like
It sort of rings a little. It sort of gets me a little exhausted, if I'm being honest.
I mean, essentially what we've just discovered right now is like, how does Luke consider his community's needs, right?
Yeah.
And you've literally been like, yeah, that's my literal need. Like, I need that. I need you to consider that. And you guys just met like 5 seconds ago. So he's already starting to think about, what does my community need?
yes.
I love that.
He's getting the feedback and he's working on that. He's making decisions.
100%.
Yeah.
This is Carl.
Hi, Carl.
Hi, Carl.
This is Natty.
How are you?
This is Sienna.
Hi there.
Okay.
That's everyone I know in here, I think.
I love how you got like the train info on this.
How good is that?
Yeah.
So when people are coming in the morning, they know when their train is going to leave.
Well, that's very unique. You don't see that a lot in cafes on your store.
Who do you think this serves? Who do you think this is
people
for?
who take the bustle train who need
For
to get to
sure.
work.
But who is Carl thinking of? He's thinking of his customers.
Yes, his customers.
Right?
And also,
Why does he care so much about his customers?
Because they want to get to work on time and they want to like check on like the time when their bus or their train leaves.
Yeah, I'm also going to tell you another reason. It's also because Carl actually cares about people who come and buy things from him. Yeah. Carl, I don't know if he calls himself this, but he's big time a community man. He's very invested in the local community. That's why we needed to make sure that we come up and speak to him. Not only because he does things like this, he's like, all right, what do folks need, right? The train's right there. I want people to know when the train's going to come so that they can manage their time efficiently, right? It's probably not going to sell you that many more coffees, but it's definitely going to make people feel more comfortable. And when people feel more comfortable, they're therefore going to buy more coffees, right?
Yeah.
All right. How does your cafe bring your community together?
Well, first and foremost, it's a meeting place. It's a common place that everyone can come, and there's no cost to come here. I mean, we like people to buy coffee, but we don't expect them to. It helps people who maybe have seen each other on the street but have never spoken to each other. They might find a common interest here. They might order the same coffee or food or something, gives them something to talk about. And then it's also a place where we can help people work. So we have most of the people live nearby. They're already part of the community.
A lot of young people. And you've hired a lot of people's kids.
Yeah.
And
For example, Aaron over here is a child of one of the customers. Yeah. Was a customer on their own beforehand. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
using it kind of a bit of a third space, you know?
Why did you start the dog war?
Why did I start the dog war? Oh, well, okay. So I like dogs, and this is my dog here, Smiley. And then it's just, again, a lot of people, they see other people with their dogs, but they might not know their names or remember their names. Just a way for that. It's also, it's a bit of fun. Sometimes we rearrange them, we rank them of who's the best dog. Also, from a business perspective, people feel like, oh, my dog's on that coffee machine, I should go back to that cafe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where did your passion for vinyl records come from?
Well, I suppose Dad was the first one who really started us with music, but then when I was late teens, got into the rave scene in Sydney and dance parties, and started DJing. So really, it was kind of like just a passion from that. Yeah, it just grew out of that, and and I mean it's pretty cool owning a record store. Music's definitely an emotive thing, like people can find all sorts of connections through music, especially like connections to their childhood, connections to a particular place they went, a particular road trip, a time in their life. I mean, I find music definitely has that appeal and can keep people really grounded. It can take you to a place that's safe, or a place that has a happy memory, or a place that even to bring like a memory back from someone who's passed. It's a beautiful thing.
And it's that, I guess you talked about connection as that main ingredient of community, right? Totally. And so around music, I think for young people throughout history have always found community through music.
Absolutely,
right?
100%.
Have created movements through the community.
Like the rave scene.
Yeah, like the rave scene.
This is a book my mate actually put out from just photos of like particular raves and places in 1993.
And you can see in these photos, these are emotional photos.
Yeah, totally. That's me there. That's my brother actually in the background.
Wow, okay.
This is Johnny Duncan. He's actually gone on to become a pretty successful film producer in the UK. This is Brendan Cowell. You might know him. He's a pretty famous Australian actor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wow. Yeah.
That's actually my daughter's mum there.
Wow.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
That's amazing.
Like, some of these stories are tragic too. Like some of these people in here are no longer with us.
And but that's also part of community, the community spirit as well.
That lives on.
That lives on.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing. It's funny, you just remind me. One of my mates passed away on Monday. But he was a big part of this shop.
Was he?
Yeah, he come. Like he's a friend outside of here as well. But he's also a massive record collector, hardcore punk, like hard metal stuff, that kind of genre. And he just passed on Monday. I'm
so sorry to hear of your passing.
He was pretty sick.
Yeah, but obviously, when you were starting this shop, there was all these people that would have been in your life in different ways and supported you in building this space.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
community has been really supportive.
Yeah.
Like it's kept us here. I mean, we've been here over 3 bit years now, so they always say the first year of opening any kind of shop like this is going to be the toughest, but we persevered and stuck it out, and we're still here.
Hey, it's Raphael. Truth and honor in my life is a person who is willing to sacrifice everything to see you succeed. A person who is willing to give up their dream to make yours come true. A person that will guide you. A person that would not leave you. A person that would sacrifice everything to be with you. A person that words matches their action.
You build honor by telling the truth and using your voice.
When we go out into the community with our teacher and learn from the real world, it makes learning more connected. When learning is more connected, it is both meaningful and easier to remember. We've learnt how to ask different kinds of questions so as to relate the values of things we're interested into the lives of other people so that we can connect. We've learnt to think twice before approaching a new situation and to instead stop, reflect and be more self-aware of others and of ourselves. A third space is a location that isn't owned by anyone and people are allowed to use those areas. These everyday places, the barbershop chair, a coffee counter, a record shop, become more than businesses. They're spaces where communities are built and where young people can learn what it means to belong. The barbershop is more than a haircut. It's a place to talk, to build connection, to belong, to find yourself. We acknowledge the Gadigal and Wangal peoples who are the traditional custodians of the land we learn on. We wish to acknowledge their elders past and present, and to acknowledge that Aboriginal people have and continue to be the first and primary knowledge holders, protectors and sharers of these lands. We wish to extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people listening in. As our podcast is focused on community, we wish to further acknowledge that First Nations people and cultures have much to teach us about community.